Hello everyone, welcome to my channel All PL SQL Concepts. In this channel, I'm going to discuss about all the concepts related to Oracle PL SQL. In this ongoing series of videos, I'm discussing about alter table statements. And at the end of this series, I'm going to discuss some interview questions related to alter statements. In my last video, which is the part 1 of this alter table statement series, I showed you guys how to add and remove columns from the table. These are the syntaxes which we discussed thoroughly in that video. If you guys haven't watched that video, then I will request you guys to watch that video. Link of the video is in the description below. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to modify and rename columns of a table. First, I'm going to discuss how to modify columns of a table. So the different modifications which we are going to see are changing the data type of a column, changing the data type of multiple columns, changing the size of a column, and changing the size of multiple columns. Now let's see the syntaxes to modify columns of a table. So the first syntax is related to modification of data type or size of a single column. So in this syntax we can see that after alter and table keywords we have table name along with the modify keyword, which is then followed by column name, data type and size of the column. Here the main keyword is modify. Okay. Now the second syntax is related to modification of data type or size of multiple columns. So the first syntax was related to single column. Now the second syntax is related to multiple columns. Now this syntax is similar to the first syntax. The only difference is that the column names along with their data type and size are separated by comma and are enclosed within the round brackets. Okay, so these were the syntaxes related to modification of data type or size of single or multiple columns. Now before checking the examples, let's see the table which I am going to use in this video. So I will be using employee table, which has 5 columns, which are EMP underscore ID, EMP underscore name, EMP underscore salary, EMP underscore gender, and branch. Now you can notice that I have kept the data type of all the columns as varchar2. Now let's see how we can change the data type of a single column. To show that, let me change the data type of first column, which is EMP underscore ID, from varchar2 to number. So the statement to do that is this. So as discussed earlier, we can see that to change the data type of a column, we need to have modify keyword after table name, which is then followed by the column name along with its new data type. So now let me execute this statement. We can see that table got altered. Now let's see whether the column got modified or not. For that, I'm going to execute this statement. This statement consists of DESA keyword and the table name. Okay. Now this statement basically gives some details related to the columns, like its data type, its size, and whether the column is null or not. Okay. In this case, we can see that the data type of EMP underscore ID got changed to number. Okay. So in similar manner, we can change the data type of more than one columns. To show that, let me change the data type of EMP underscore salary from varchar2 to number, and the data type of EMP underscore gender from varchar2 to char. Okay. So the statement to do that is so as explained earlier, in this statement we can see that the column names along with their data type and size are separated by comma and are enclosed within the round brackets. Okay, so now let me execute this statement. We can see that table got altered. Okay, now let's see whether the columns got modified or not. We can see that in case of EMP underscore salary, the data type is now number,
and in case of emp underscore gender, the data type has been changed to char. Okay, now this statement has got one more advantage, that is it can also modify a single column also. Okay, in that case we have to just put the column name along with this data type and size within this round brackets. Okay, now let's see how we can change the size of a single column. To show that, let me change the size of emp underscore name from 10 to 100. I'm doing this because size 10 for columns like name is very less. Okay, so the statement to do that is, now let me execute this statement. As we can see that table got altered. Now let's see whether the columns got modified or not. As we can see that the size got increased to 100. Okay, now this statement is exactly same as the first statement. The only difference is that in this case we are only changing the size of the column. Okay, and another point is that we have to make sure that the data type of the column in the alter statement is same as the original data type which was used during the creation of the table. Okay, so here we can see that while creation of the table, the column name of emp underscore name was varchar2, and in the alter statement also it is varchar2. Okay, now we can also change the size of multiple columns of a table. The statement to do that is same as the second statement. Okay, in this statement also we will be changing the size of the column. So these are the statements related to changing the size or data type of single column or multiple columns. Okay, now let's see how we can rename columns. Okay, so the syntax to rename column is this. In this statement we can see that after table name we are using rename and column keywords, which is followed by the column which we want to rename, then two keyword, and at the end the new column name. Now let's see the example. So to show that, let me rename column branch as emp underscore branch. So the statement to do that is, let me execute this statement. We can see that table employee got altered. Now let's see whether the column name has been renamed or not. Now we can see that earlier it was branch and now the column name has been changed to emp underscore branch. Now coming back to this statement can only be used to rename one column at a time. That is, it cannot be used to rename multiple columns. Okay, there could be some other ways to rename multiple columns, but as far as alter statement is considered, this is the only way to rename one column at a time. Okay, now let's see a few important points related to the modification of the columns.
So the first point is related to changing the data type of a column. In that, the first part is related to changing the data type of a column from one type to another type, like from varchar2 to number. So sometimes it may happen that before changing the data type of a column, we have to delete all the values of that column. To show that, let's take the example of emp underscore id column. Now let's suppose that emp underscore id column is of varchar type and consists of data like abc123 xyz456. Now let's suppose that client requirement has changed and now they want only numbers in this column. So now you have to change the data type to number. But the database won't allow you to change the data type directly since the values consist of characters like ABC, XYZ. So first we have to delete all the values from that column and then we can change the data type. Okay. But while changing the data type of a column within same type, like from varchar2 to char, we may not have to delete values from that column. Let's take example of emp underscore gender. Now let's suppose that it consists of values like male, female, others. So all these values are of varchar type, which is basically a string. So converting the data type to char, which is also a string, is possible and will not throw any error. Now the next point is related to changing the size of a column. When it comes to changing the size of a column, then only two types of changes can take place. Either you can increase the size or you can decrease the size. It is not necessary to delete values of that column when you are increasing the size of that column. Let's take example of emp underscore name. Now let's suppose it is of data type varchar2 with size 10 and we want to increase the size to 50. So in this case, the size of all the values currently present will be less than or equals to 10. So even if we increase the size to 50, it will not affect the values. Okay. But in case of decreasing the size of the column, you may have to make some adjustment or you have to delete all the values of that column. Since the size or length of the current values of that column could be more than 10, since the current size limit is 50. So in this case, we need to delete the values of this column. I hope everything is clear to everyone. If you guys have any issue or any suggestion, then please leave comment below. So that is it in this video. In my next video, which is also going to be the part of this series, I'm going to show you guys how to add, drop, enable and disable constants via alter statement. If you guys like this video, then please click on the like button. And if you guys want updates of my upcoming videos, then please subscribe and click on the bell icon. This will also help support this channel. So thank you everyone. Please do take care of yourselves. See you guys in the next video. Till then,